interruption, but the boys basketball team is now leaving for Craven.
Sit down, you're not on the team. It's a boys basketball team.
Never gonna tell this one.
As I was saying, today we are going to start our unit on the first by president.
Please pardon me once again, but could the yearbook staff remember to bring your baby picture in for the yearbook? Also, will Marlena Loma please go to the dean's office and bring your books because you will not be coming back.
You're always getting in trouble.
Shut up.
As I was saying, hey, you on the back? Do you see my lips moving and hear my voice? You know when I speak, you know. Come here. I want you to go see the nurse and have your ears checked. I can't believe you would interrupt my class on purpose. It must be your ears are just going bad and you never really heard me. Just go see the nurse and have her check your hearing.
That is.
Now getting back to the unit on our first by president. Ooh, 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 give me. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes? Mr. Bro, I saw you in the mall holding hands with your wife. We were studying.
Mr. Brown!
Yes, Mr. Bro, I bet you were alive when Washington was born, weren't you?
I bet you were too!
No! Washington was born.
Mr. Olney. Ooh, call me! Mr. Bro, when I lived in Denver, I lived on Jefferson Street, and Jefferson was our third president, you know.
Could I please just introduce our unit on the first by president?
Pardon me for this interruption. Could the cheerleaders not report to the office this time? Thank you.
I'm not a cheerleader. Does that mean I should report to the office?
Sit down.
Mr. Bro, you've got a big mouth, so you should be a cheerleader too. I think you should too, Mr. Bro.
Please.
You a little skirt.
Focus, people, focus. Now let me introduce our unit on the first by president. George Washington was the first president under the Constitution. Yes. Now let me tell you about the first by president. George Washington was the first president under the Constitution. George Washington was born in 1732 to Augustine Washington, a Virginia.
and some of the events that happened while Washington served as our first president from 1789 to 1800.
Doesn't that young Beethoven chap really rock?
I don't know, Georgie. His music is good, I guess. But ever since Mozart passed away, really jamming music has seemed to have disappeared. At least that's how it seems to me.
Oh, Martha, just listen to this stuff. It's really dancing music. Give it a try, honey. Let's do the most popular dance in the world, the waltz, and you will see how good this music really is. Sorry to interrupt, Mr. President, but you have to sign this bill before it comes off. What bill is that, Tom Boy? It's the Bill of Rights, George. It will be 10 amendments added to our Constitution that will guarantee every American more rights than any other people in this world. This is a very good thing, George. But I need your John Hancock before it comes off. Did you know that John Hancock was really our first president? It wasn't me. He led the War of Independence against them redcoats. He should really get the credit, not me. He fought the British and brought us victory. Don't be silly about it. And at least 9 states ratified this. And give me that bill. Never come along. Thanks, George. Very good thing.
George, I've got to go fix you lunch. What will you ever have?
Something easy to chew. These wooden teeth don't let me eat anything that's too chewy, or this fall right out of my mouth. I can't believe what's going on in France. They're holding a revolution, all right, but it isn't anything like ours. They're executing everyone that doesn't agree with them by using the guillotine. They even beheaded their own king, Louis XIV. I don't know what's going on with this old world. And now France and Britain are in a war, and France wants us to help them because they helped us during our revolution. And England wants them to help them because we were once part of their empire. The United States isn't going to stand to help either side. I'm going to declare our nation neutral, and we're going to stay out of the entire mess. Well, hello, Alexander.
Mr. President, we have trouble in Pennsylvania. The farmers down there won't pay their taxes on whiskey. We need this money from the Revolution of the War Debt.
We're going to be a strong nation. Citizens must pay their taxes, whether they like it or not. Get my horse, Alexander. I'm going down there. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Washington did ride to Pennsylvania, and there never was any trouble with the farmers. Washington is a very good president that did much. Washington truly is the father of the United States.
The 1999-2000 Mr. Rhodes American History class is overjoyed to present a short play on the unfair and unconstitutional laws that were around when John Adams was president. The actors and actresses in our play today are Garrett Garrett Waller as Johnny Renegade, Melissa Even as Polly Vu Francais, Matt Eads as Claude Conversion Van, Mark Simpson, Policeman, Alex Hayes, Policeman, Paris Eda as Court Clerk, and Miss Johnson as the Judge.
Oh, gosh.
Adams' greatest contribution as our president might have been keeping us out of war with France. France had demanded money for the United States not stopping American ships on the ocean, but John Adams refused to pay 1 cent. He even called Washington out of retirement just in case a conflict would arise. France backed down, the United States avoided war with John Adams showed the world that the United States was a strong nation, capital, and defended herself. But Adams' presidency was a turbulent time for the Americans, and Adams passed several laws that violated our very own Constitution. Our story this morning is about these unfair laws of Adams' administration. The scene is of a courtroom where trials are taking place involving the laws of the Sedition Act, Alien Act, and the Naturalization Act.
Please. Sure. Thank you. Will the accused please step forward? Johnny Renegade, you have been charged with the crime of sedition. Do you understand the charges?
Your Honor, I thought under my First Amendment that I was granted the freedom of speech.
Don't you read the papers, sir? John Adams had the Sedition Act made into law. It states that it's a crime to criticize the United States government. Did you not call John Adams a fool and an enemy of the Constitution?
Yes, I did, Your Honor, and he is an enemy of the Constitution.
Proof of that. Take him away. That'll be 2 years in prison for you, Johnny Renegade.
The law is unfair. The law is unfair. It takes away my First Amendment rights.
Second case, please. Will Polly Vu Francais please approach the bench?
I am an innocent lady, Your Honor.
This court will decide that. Now, you have been charged under the Alien Act of being a danger to the peace and safety of the United States. How do you plead?
Innocent, of course. I have done nothing wrong. All I said is that the United States should support France with her war against England. Because after all, France supported this country during the Revolution. That's all I said.
Are you a citizen of the United States?
No, but I'm planning to become one.
Under the Alien Act, the president has the power.
You mean that tyrant John Adams has the power?
He's the boss, applesauce. And one more interruption like that, and this court will come down hard on you. Let me start again. You have been charged under the Alien Act as being dangerous to this country. Under this law, President John Adams has the power to deport you. Do you understand deport?
Kick me out of your country because I don't agree with your president.
That's right, and as of today, consider yourself deported. Take this one away, put her on a fat boat back to France, and as for you, Miss Polly Vu, don't you ever come back!
I thought this country prided itself on being free. Hey, Judge, you ever read the bill, right?
Yeah. Next case, please. Will Claude Conversion Van please approach the bench? I hear you have a complaint against the United States and want to settle this thing in court. Is this true?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your complaint?
You see, Your Honor, I was due to become a citizen of the United States next week. I have so been looking forward to it. When out of the blue, they changed the law, and it takes 14 years living in this country to become a citizen.
What country are you from?
I'm from France.
Don't you read the papers? John Adams had the Naturalization Act passed. Under this law, it now takes 14 years of living in this country before you can become a citizen. Do you have a problem with that?
Yes, I do.
Take this one away. Put them on the same boat with the other Frenchie. That's 2 less French people living in this country that can support the political party called the Democratic Republicans. Court adjourned.
All right.
not re-elected president. Thomas Jefferson was elected and became our third president. Jefferson's first act as president was to order all those released, those prisoners held captive in jail that were held under the Alien Act, the Sedition Act. Jefferson had the Naturalization Act, the Alien Act, and the Sedition Act thrown out. Thus ends a very ugly chapter in our American history.
I, Thomas Jefferson, always winning that game. You should know that by now.
Thomas Jefferson is one of the most important and well-respected men in American history. Jefferson's achievements are many. He wrote the Declaration of Independence. He encouraged vaccinations against smallpox. He kept daily records on the weather, including rainfall, winds, and temperatures. He introduced olive oil, macaroni, and waffles to America. He raised 2 daughters as a single father after his wife passed away. He wrote a state law guaranteeing separation of church and state so Virginians would no longer have to pay taxes to a church. He was the founder of the University of Virginia. His incredible book collection started the Library of Congress. Even if Jefferson never became President of the United States, his life would have been truly remarkable. But Jefferson did become our third president, and his presidency is considered one of the most interesting and important of all the presidents. Our play today is about this incredible man, Thomas Jefferson, as President of the United States. This could have been just a typical day in the life of President Thomas Jefferson. He is in a meeting with the Vice President, Aaron Burr, and James Madison.
Listen, Clark, I paid $15 million to the Louisiana Territory, only 3 cents an acre, and they are nowhere to be found. They must be lost. Anybody heard from them? I said Lewis and Clark, not Lois and Clark.
Sorry, Mr. President, we're not them. But if you ever need me, just call me. Have a nice day.
Lewis and Clark are here. We made it, sir. Mr. Jefferson, you won't believe how much wealth is in our new land. There's more wealth and fur than you have ever seen. Yes, sir, Mr. President. The land you bought from France is beautiful. It's full of incredible mountains, crystal clear rivers, lakes, and buffalo. The potential is limitless.
Good work, boys. Make sure I get a full report on my desk by the end of the week.
Yes, sir.
At ease, boys. At ease. Listen, Brad, did we have a little trouble over the weekend?
Well, you see, sir, it really wasn't my fault.
Spit it out, Bert. I want to hear your side of the story before I make any judgment.
Well, you see, that lousy no Confederate Alexander Hamilton, he called me names, bad names, and he insulted me. Did I tell you he called me names?
And what did you do to Hamilton? And I might remind you that Hamilton is one of the most powerful men in all the United States.
Well, I challenged him to a duel. I took him out back. We were back to back. I counted to 10. And I turned around and I shot that lousy no good Federalist right between the eyes and killed him dead.
So let me get this straight. My vice president disagrees with one of the most powerful and influential men in all the United States, takes him into an alley, and kills him dead. Is that how you solve your problems? With a gun?
Well, I guess I handled it the best way, Mr. President.
Darn straight! What a knocker.
You know what I discovered? Do you?
What?
Pike's Peak!
Woohoo! Madison, make a little note about that Pike fellow. I don't think his elevator quite goes to the top floor, if you know what I mean.
The entire mess with the barbarian state seems to be cleared up now.
Ah, the Barbary States. They thought they could push the old US of A around, did they? I guess we taught them a thing or two about being a bully.
I know we didn't want to go to war with them, but at least now we don't have to pay a bunch of crooks so they don't beat us up.
Yes, sirree, Bob. The United States is not going to let anybody push us around anymore. The United States is about standing up to the bully and protecting the rights of every man, woman, and child. We will protect and even fight for our liberty. Let freedom ring from the streets of Boston to the new lands of the Louisiana Territory. Let freedom ring.
Our fourth president and truly is one of the great men of history. Because of his careful notes and efforts to get the Constitutional Convention, he is called the father of the Constitution. Also, Madison was Secretary of State in the Jefferson administration and served in the House of Representatives before he became president. Madison's presidency is remembered for one gigantic event, the War of 1812. Once again, the United States fought against England. England was still disappointed because she had lost a very valuable 13 colonies during the Revolution. During this war, the White House was burned, the words of the national anthem were written, we gained respect around the world as a world power, and we got the cartoon character Uncle Sam. The play this morning is about James Madison and the War of 1812.
Johnny, honey, we gotta go! Or the British Army will capture us and throw us in jail. We gotta get all the important documents that we need to get and get out of here.
You always make such a big thing of a tiny little problem.
A tiny problem? You think the British Army's a tiny problem? Let's go already!
Do you think this dress goes with my lipstick?
I don't have time for this, Dolly. You hear that? We gotta run or risk being captured.
I will walk briskly, but I won't run. A lady never perspires, you know, James.
Let's get out of here fast!
Whoa! There's old President James Madison.
Must have just missed him, sir.
Well, if you didn't have to stop for breakfast, maybe we could have caught that little sod up front of a leader.
And Mr. Grant's having breakfast at Denny's.
I don't think so. Let's burn and destroy this lighthouse to the ground.
Wait, a few souvenirs first. Yo, the big dude in red. Wouldn't this look good in my apartment?
What would you want a picture of George Washington for? He was responsible for us losing the American Revolution, you know.
Well, it was a good picture until you ripped it up. How inconsiderate.
Let's destroy this place and look for that pint size of a president.
I smashed the box.
The United States did survive that scary day when the enemy burned the White House. The war waged about 2 years. Finally, we once again defeated the mighty British Army and the Treaty of Ghent ended the war. We hope you have enjoyed our story.
James Monroe was our 5th president. He served as our chief executive from 1817 to 1825. His presidency was during a period of growth and prosperity, and has been dubbed the era of good feelings by historians because so many good things did happen in the United States. Our story today is about the mood of Monroe's presidency.
These days. I'd like to hear from some of you about the good mood of the United States these days. Let's hear from you, John Quincy Adams. Did I tell you I liked your father even though he was a Federalist?
Well, Mr. President, I worked out the details of your Monroe Doctrine. Sir, this doctrine will state to all of Europe that the United States is no longer some puny little nation that can be pushed around. We are not the skinny kid that gets his lunch money taken away from.
Go, John!
This Monroe Doctrine proclaims to Europe, especially to England and France, that they can't try to claim any more territory in the Western Hemisphere. And if they do, United States will use their military to stop them.
Wow, John, that's wonderful. Do you have any other good news that will make this country feel good about ourselves?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I worked out the final details of the Quincy Treaty.
And what are the details?
We get Spain $5 million and we get Florida.
Yeah! Wow, that news makes me feel good. Do you realize that someday we might have a Disney World or a SeaWorld, or maybe even a pro football team or two in Florida? Woo! Yeah! And all for just $5 million. Good job, John. Woo!
Thanks for the pat on the back, Mr. President.
Any more good news for me this morning that will make me feel good? Oh, I've got some good news. Go ahead and make me feel good.
Since you have become president, 5 new states have been added.
That is good-terrific. Good news for the old press today?
I got some good news that will tickle your good feelings, sir.
Well, go ahead and make me feel good.
The first public high school opened today. You'll be called the president that opened the first public high school. You'll go down in history.
Maybe they'll name it after me. James Monroe High School. That's got a good ring to it. And I hope their colors are purple and gold. And maybe they'll be the Lions. Any more good news?
I do, sir.
Spit it out.
The Missouri Compromise has agreed is going to let Missouri into the Union as a slave state and...
Stop! I said good news! I don't want to hear it.
I guess I rained on his parade.
Don't worry about it. Someday this nation is going to have to face the problem of slavery. But it seems like every president does not want to hear about it. They just leave it for the next president. But mark my words, someday as a nation we will have to face this problem because it is not going to go away. As long as there are slaves, this nation will never be a free nation. Someday we will settle this issue and I will have a feeling it'll be on a battlefield.
When James Monroe was president, many good things did happen during the United States, but slavery was an issue that was not settled during his presidency. 40 years later, the issue of slavery would be settled on battlefields. Almost a million casualties occurred during the Civil War, and then finally the issue would be settled and the slaves would be set free.